are with Broken Worlds, Exalted. I think it's called just the Skeleton Keys or Skeleton Keys?
I think it's just Skeleton Keys.
Skeleton Keys.
Skeleton Keys. I am Devin, the referee, and to my left we have X playing Y.
Nicole playing Tepid Burrell.
Kevin playing Poison Orchid.
Alright, you two. Where did we leave off last session? Recap for the listeners.
We found out... We were trying to find someone who could basically navigate the mists, although that's not what it is. And we were given a cryptic hint by the whispers that this dude can listen to that led us to the... What is it called? The Heretic Monastery of the Rule, where we kicked a bunch of ghost zombie type things.
Hungry ghosts.
Hungry ghosts. We kicked their asses.
Yes, you destroyed them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to be delving deeper into this place to find the person or thing we are trying to find. Also, it might be like a man's, so if it is, we want to attune to it.
It warrants further investigation, yes.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Alright then. So, you guys are at the main doors. This place is orange and red with the firelight constantly around you. The hungry ghosts have ceased their resistance and are slain, quote-unquote, on the charred and ashen wood at your feet. Your gang, your ghouls and ghosts and specters tear through their possessions and their bodies, taking grisly trophies and monetary trophies, filching them from the ghostly gauze of their belongings. Everyone is in pretty good spirits. That was a nice, clean dust-up. Are the Nephrax here, or...?
I leave them at the base, usually, because Lord, take them everywhere.
Oh my lord.
Like I said, they're usually in, like, deep meditation.
Until it's time.
Until it's time.
Yeah, well, the wraiths and specters you have with you are in good cheer. They have, like, cups of, like, that weird runny reed wine that comes from the river that they kind of somehow ferment down here. They're drinking it. Some of them have, like, death marks. So you can see, like, the liquid going down, like, the open parts of their throats where animals tore them out into their stomach. Some of them are actual skeletons with, like, paper-folded skin over themselves, blistered back from the heat, and you can see it, like, slosh around and peel out. They're happy and cheering you on.
Excellent.
Singing your praise and singing the praise of Oblivion. The look on your face, Nicole.
With an orchid, just makes a gesture of his hand to follow him into the central temple.
Right? What?
Just remembered the image of you smuggling me in under your coat.
Oh.
Take refuge in my mustache.
Oh no!
Any other game, if we were playing a more jokey version of this, that's definitely...
I literally thought that's how the power works. Is you disappeared into a shadow, you could go into other shadows.
No, I'm just, if I'm in darkness, I'm invisible, but there's fire everywhere, so there's no shadows.
I mean, if you spent a power die, you could probably do it. I'll hide in the shadow of his mustache.
Don't want to do that.
Don't you? Don't you? I think because the session starts, you all get a power die.
Oh.
Yes. I think they go away at the end
Up
of the
to
session,
3.
though, so we only have one.
I don't think they go away at the end of the session.
I'm 99% sure they do.
Alright, well, I'll pause. Alright, back. No, Nicole is right. You all discard your power die at the end of the session. I discard any break die I might have accumulated, and you start the session with 1. So, yeah. And we also should have done the end the session move last time, but we just ended it, and it's a new day, so we might do that this time, listeners. It is a brand new day. So yes, there are 2 large oak and mahogany doors in front of you, intricately carved and designed. Even the fire themselves can properly destroy them. They're merely basically blast reinforced from the fire, and the wood itself is very solid. Very dried out and very sturdy. Like, it looks like it's heartwood that comes from the deep east, or when it was alive it did, so it's very resistant to fire.
Fair.
Yeah, it's not like the particle board we have. They'll just catch up like tinder. So yeah, 2 doors are in front of you. They have intricate designs of, the seasons changing, orchids, draconic imagery. It's very much this was an Eastern Immaculate Temple, or some sort of festival grounds, a place for monks to meditate, and it's just shut in front of you.
Suppose I'm not going to do anything. I'll have my minions push it open.
Your gang, they all get on either side of one of the doors and back up, and they squabble amongst themselves and punch and fight and kick each other. One gets thrown against the door and gets punched until his teeth come out, and then they pick up the teeth and that guy puts it in his knuckles, his brass knuckles. And then they all organize. I'm assuming you're going to get them under control.
Yes.
Okay, well, they're squabbling right now. It's like, now you, how about you? I can't believe this. The boss wouldn't stand for this. I'll be the boss one day.
One of those long, pale hands just kind of stretches out from under the cloak and snaps.
They all kind of jump, compose themselves. They back up in 2 lines and kind of stagger themselves out almost like football almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like where there's a line at the front, a line at the back, but there's space in between. And they all, almost on cue, start snapping their fingers and start slamming themselves up against the door. The mob of them that there is, just 15 of them. So just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, taking turns on the one door until it starts to cave inward and open.
Excellent.
And yeah, you guys get on in, and we enter the new action scene. Alright, the scene is your gang Orchard smashes their way in and all fall over themselves and roll around in a big pile. You two enter through the door and probably step around them. The inside of this temple is an inside garden. It has a sand garden to kind of comb and meditate on. It's very, it's for meditating. The wood.
Is Zen.
I didn't want to keep saying the word Zen. I used it a lot last session. But it's very spiritual. There are tapestries and hanging sort of wall ornamentation everywhere that are perpetually on fire and burning in ghoulish ways, casting striking dramatic shadows everywhere. In the middle of the garden, which must have been torn up, is a large, clearly spectral, or at least made of gauze, minotaur. She's big, covered in fur, that's tangled and mussed with blood and gore. Her stomach's been opened up and bisected, almost surgically, her stomach was opened up like a dissection table, and swords and axes and balls of spikes are pouring out as if they were her guts. The fur gives way as it goes further up the chest to the head into thick, well held together bark and reinforced leather mail, almost like an executioner's cowl, and the horns are capped with iron and have been etched with sort of East-style wards and whatnot against the Fae. One of her hands has been mangled and turned into a battle axe. The other one is broad and wide and has shielding designs etched into the flesh and bone where her fur has been stripped away. So you can see bones and stuff that have etching in it. And it is rampaging through here, flipping things over, and it looks like it's been previously wounded. In the corner is a small, slender, slight figure with ocean purple, kind of jellyfish purple skin, bald, covered in skin piercings and tattoos, and wearing what looks like lamellar armor, the kind of segmented samurai armor, holding what looks like a daiklave, a long katana. In one hand, with large, milky black eyes. Do either of you know anything about spirits?
I was educated well because I'm a dragon-blooded from the Blessed Isle.
I will let you have this then. That is a Neoma, a demon courtesan from Malpheus.
A Neoma and a thing.
A hungry ghost, or a war specter.
Do we know about any Neoma that are in town?
Right now, in the heat of the moment, nothing kind of comes to mind, but we could definitely check for that as we progress forward. But this is the scene. The Neoma looks like it's been injured. That lamellar armor, underneath the armor is lamellar.
No, I'm not telling you to repeat. I was just mouthing the words. It's an interesting word.
Under the lamellar armor, there's almost like a black bodysuit that seems to be covered in like teeth and little nail hooks that's writhing. That strikes in contrast to the purple smooth skin. So there's something going on with it, but it's injured and like in a corner and looks not great.
I have a question.
What?
Are both of these living things?
The thing with its guts pulled out into weapons that looks like it's dead? No.
Okay, I was just like, that's a ghost of something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Neoma is not a ghost. It's a spirit, but it's not a ghost.
Wait, a spirit instead of a demon?
Demons are spirits.
Oh,
Okay, that confused me for a minute there.
Is it possible to summon those in the inner world? Like,
Yeah.
huh?
Just,
Okay.
Do it.
Okay,
The dye weapon, the large kind of long katana, Sephiroth style long instead of broad, looks like it's made of orichalcum. The anathema metal, the treasures of the prideful heretic kings that ruled the world before. The Minotauress sees you guys. So this is the scene I've introduced to you.
like, when she sees us, does she look like she's gonna attack us?
Yes.
Okay.
There is death in its eyes.
Okay, because I was like, I was really unclear about who we should be siding with here. So I was like, there's just a fight going on, and I don't know any of these people. It's like, okay, fight, I guess.
Orchid, you being a messiah of the dead, understand that this is a rabid war ghost that's gone spectral. It only hears oblivion in its heart.
It must be rendered back into nothing.
Or smelt it. One of your guys speaks up. He has hammers for hands that have like nails creeping out of the hammerheads to make manipulators, or made into tools, my lord.
Things we need.
What do you two do?
I'm going to gesture at my gang. Retrieve the woman.
Your gang looks at the and the Neoma's like.
I step forward to start facing the Minotaur
To
to distract it. And also,
Okay, because to be clear, the Minotaur is a woman,
yes.
and I don't know if the Neoma is. So you're like, retrieve the woman, they're like...
They're pretty effeminate, though, usually, aren't they?
Yeah. They don't. Your gang doesn't know that though, because your gang's like retrieve the woman, and they're like, you mean the dairy cow, the murderous dairy cow. Some like a non-insignificant amount of your gang members who are like all. They're not dumb, but they're kind of simple because they're your cult gang.
Mm-hmm.
They worship you and idolize you and try not to question you, even though they really like having things.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the Minotaur. They're like,
Orchid sighs and just kind of gestures over at the Neoma.
Get the freak! They all start scurrying over to it. So, what is your objective here?
To at least distract this thing long enough to retrieve the Neoma. Possibly kill this.
Okay.
And also, I think I'm using the move where you impress your gang by... That's Our Boss, I think it's called? Or is that a advanced move?
Let's see.
Yeah, that is an advanced move.
Alright, well, let's pause for a second.
Okay.
Alright, so it sounds like from your description, you're trying to draw the Minotaur War Spectre away from focusing on anyone but you, and trying to keep away from it and outwit it and focus it on you. Which we have talked about and decided it's going to be an overcome move. Overcome, which will be a plus heat roll to, do something daring or attempt disaster.
Mm-hmm. So that's a 10.
10 plus?
Oh, good. That means nothing bad happens to you.
And that's also making an example for my gang.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely an example for your game. You walked up to this thing and on your own with your gang around you and brought it up. So yeah, the War Spectre locks eyes with you and kind of ignores everyone else and starts charging and getting worked up to focus in on you.
Orchid kind of opens his mouth way more than a human possibly should and lets out this inhuman bellow and spits basically flecks of acidic poison to the floor as he starts, dashing back.
Yeah, your gang sees this and are just awed. So you get bonus boss.
Excellent.
Boss, the currency of your playbook. Yeah, they're seeing this in the shadow and the dramatic lighting of the fire in here. And while you're doing that, they're going to swarm over to the Neoma and sort of swarm onto it, combat cloud style, and just kind of sweep it away.
Excellent.
Alright.
So, Berial.
I'm not fucking Vedic Berial.
Burrell.
Just say the word.
Burrell.
Burrell.
Queen Barrel.
There's 3 different pronunciations at play, and you chose the hardest one.
I chose a very easy to say name.
Burrell.
Devon.
Burrell, what are you doing?
I'm going to climb up to the ceiling and then jump down onto the Minotaur's fucking head.
And what are you doing with that? What is the goal here? Are you trying to distract it, or...?
You can't fight, right?
I can fight-ish, as well as, any other splat can. I do less damage, but... Oh wait, it's not a group, so I do the +2.
No, you can get your...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is... Yeah, the Minotaur is not a group.
But you are a group, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I thought it was just you, and I'm like, oh, buddy, what are you doing? You're... Alright, yeah, if we're gonna have other people fighting as well, it not attacking is kind of more valuable than me doing damage to it right now. So I think I'm just gonna use that same move I used last time, the Mossicle technique. So I'm gonna do an agility move.
Okay, so you're jumping on it to, try to knock it out or, distract it, or...
Yeah, I'm gonna try to knock it to the floor, basically.
Alright, so you're jumping on it to kind of bring it down.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, do an agility move.
Ooh. So 4, 5, 6. I fail.
Okay, so I know exactly what move I'll respond with. A break move. So you drop down on the back of the Minotaur Spectre War Ghost and try to, confuse it and maybe drive it down by the horns to bring it, reeling into a stagger. And you just kick onto its face and hold onto it, and it doesn't go down. She's very sturdy and sees you and starts shaking you off. And with the maul hand starts punching into her guts and working up a blood rage. In response, she activates a break move she has called Berserk, which gives her the Unstoppable tag, which means she can't be knocked about, thrown to their feet, reeled, or stunned.
Okay, that's a good move.
That's a good consequence. So yeah, stomping, cracking the floor underneath, spitting blood out of its nostrils. Just clouds of misted gore.
Alright.
Orchid.
Okay, so that's not good.
No, it does more damage now. It did damage being huge, and now it does more.
Alright, I'm going to do a reach heaven through violence roll.
Well, what do you... So the way it works is you kind of
Oh, okay. I narrate it first. Alright.
Yeah, we figure out what's happening first, then we sign the move. We know we're going to reach out through violence, but it's more...
I get you,
framing.
yeah. Alright.
It's something we all have to pick up on.
So Orchid kind of kneels down and kind of tilts his huge jug onto its side,
That giant crystal pitcher.
Yeah. from which a bunch of like childlike shadows crawl out and soar along the ground and up the Minotaur and kind of point out various weak points on it to the gang.
Oh, nice. So is that going to be acuity, or is that going to be like reach heaven through violence? Like, is the gang getting a bonus from? Is the gang getting a better chance of hurting it?
I'm going to do acuity this round. Yes.
Nice. All right. So yeah, acuity is a move that lets you make it easier to hurt something like this.
$11 and acuity is mental, so 12.
Nice. All right. So
3 hold.
all right, you have 3 hold on it, which is I'm just gonna. Oh yeah, those creepy shadow children are swarming over it. It's batting at them and getting kind of distracted and like smashing around, knocking over trees, kicking through some of the floor, hurling bits from its stomach at the walls. And those childs are like highlighting all of its like all the parts of it that are vulnerable or like have spiritual resonance with your weaponry. Barrel. What?
Burrell.
Brel.
Yes. God. I wish I picked a different name now. So am I still on it?
Do you want to still be on it?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to then take my flying guillotine and basically jump off it and wrap the chain around its throat so it comes out across and whips it in the face.
Perfect, yeah. Straightforward. So, reach out and through violence.
6, 7, 8. I think 9, 10. One moment. Let me double check if I get to use my dex.
Sure. I will pause. Okay, so we looked it up, and because it's a precise weapon, you get to use your reflex. Is it reflex?
Yes, reflex instead of body.
Yeah, so you got a 10 plus on this roll, which means you not only do your damage as normal, you also get to do your weapon flourish. And since it's a flying blade, that's crippling.
Yes. So it does 2 damage, or unless it has armor or whatever. And it has the crippling flourish. So for crippling, it means that it's basically the NPC is going to be inhibited. So I threw the thing around at their face, basically. So I'm going to say that it like cut their eyes or whatever, so that their vision is fucked.
Nice.
Yeah, Flying Yeti swings around and slams into its eyeballs and blinds it.
Yes.
Again, raging and swinging and mad. So because it's huge, it takes 1 less damage from all sources against non-huge people.
Cool.
So it only took a single wound.
Okay, I'm going to activate one of my holds then to increase damage source. Increase a single source of damage against your target by 1.
Oh, hey, that's perfect. In that case, its response, because it's like there's a lot going on here. I think then what it would do is it would use its 1 armor to not take any of that.
Okay.
Now, I will point out, because this is your first one with acuity, you can also spend a hold to give her tag AP.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. I didn't realize I was going to use armor.
Well, you can use both.
Oh, I thought you can only use 1 per turn.
Is it?
Maybe.
Spend your hold 1 for 1 to gain 1 of the... No, I guess not.
You just pile it on.
So yeah, they those ghost children like grab the armor where the guillotine's going to hit and just peel it back.
Alright, so the armor's still there, and instead of taking 1, it took 2, so it's down to 1 wound. An exchange of things happened very quickly.
I forgot how few hit points people have in this game. So I was like, this is going to take forever with how low damage we do, and then,
combat's quick.
Yeah, oh my god, combat's quick. Can you imagine?
Fucking Exalted.
This isn't the place for it. This isn't the time.
So yes, it is crippled, which means it loses effective use of their eyes.
So yeah, I can't see you. It's going to have a doozy of a time targeting you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gangly and moving around and can't quite reach you.
Yeah, and I'm also going to say that after it hits
Dismount?
it, I dismount. Otherwise, what was the point in blinding it? So I'm going to jump back up onto the ceiling.
Spider style.
Yes, spider style.
Do you have? Is that what it's called? Spider style?
I'm part of the spider school.
Yeah, spider style.
Of shadow arts.
Yeah, spider style. Okay, so we come back to Orchid.
Okay, so it has...
I think you have a hold left, don't you?
I do.
Oh my
Nice.
Christ. You throw another AP on there. Or, don't listen to me, do whatever you want.
So, Poison Orchid is going to run forward with that jug, letting out another inhuman howl, and just smack it under the chin with the jug.
Oh my lord. Alright, straightforward, reach heaven through violence.
Where the fuck did it go?
The
Which
die
die is it?
disappeared.
Is it yellow? Because it's right there.
No, it's the blue one.
Oh,
It actually vanished.
oh, there it is.
Among the garbage we have on the table.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, that's 7. So it's a miss.
No, 7 hits.
No, 7's a total
It's just
hit. You exchange blows.
it's the lowest number that is a hit.
Oh, you got a 6. Bad thing.
All right, so yeah, I smack it under the chin and activate AP.
Alright, so it can't spend armor, and it will most assuredly be surmounted.
I have a question. Do you spend the thing to make it armor piercing before or after it spends to activate armor?
Whatever
Because
works.
it matters. Because if it's afterwards, then this bitch has spent its armor.
No, you cannot spend armor against an AP move.
Mm.
So if the move's AP, armor's not being spent.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. I misunderstood how
Yeah.
that worked.
It's going to have armor when it dies, which is happening. But it gets to attack, or it doesn't get to attack, but its attack quality goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an area, huge, forceful, unstoppable attack against everyone in the combat.
Jesus.
How big is everyone in the
It's you!
Oh,
Murphy, it's you.
I was hoping stuff on the ceiling would hit me, but that doesn't happen because.
No, it does happen.
Oh fuck.
That's the consequence of the fight.
Okay. Oh no.
So, let me see here. Oh, and it's raging. So, it's huge. And you're a mob, right? So you take -1?
I'm not currently a mob, though. I was fighting alone.
Your mob's around.
Okay.
You're a mob. Your guys are around because you even made the goons there so your guys can point out the targets.
Mm.
You even have babies on it right now. You're clearly a mob.
Okay, fair enough.
Babies.
I just need to check something real quick about the group tag. Alright, so because it's area, you don't get your group defense.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's berserking and an area and huge, it's throwing 4 harm out at all of you guys.
I have 1 armor.
I
Is it
have
armor
no
piercing?
armor.
No, it is not armor piercing.
Okay.
How much health do you have?
I have 3 wounds.
Oh, no. That's okay, there's rules for dying. It's okay. It's not as bad. It's actually very hard to kill you.
Okay. I thought you meant that like I would come back as a ghost. I'm like, yeah, but then I lose all my powers because I'm not a dragon.
Anyway,
anymore.
the Minotaur War Spectre, as you're running up to it, and it's enraged and blind and just snorting clouds of blood and fire, like blood turning into like conflagrated, smoke and ash, starts swinging its club around wildly. And as it's been like wounded and damaged by all you guys going after it, and the previous fight, its arm unhitches from its flesh and bone and sinew and stretches out, and it just swings at everyone. Orchid, Burrell, your mooks, you all take 4 harm.
Okay, I'm gonna activate my 1 piece of armor to stop that.
All right,
I don't know how that qualifies for my...
it's fine. It's fine. You're thinking about it too
Yeah.
much. All right, you're fucking thinking about it way too much, man. So yeah, your armor's gone, so you only take 1 wound. And Burrell, right?
Burrell.
You take 4.
Yes,
You drop, which is fine. There's stuff for
I
that.
only have 3.
It's fine. There's stuff for that. You need to get armor. But yeah, many, many, many ghosts and specters are just gone. Like they're just thrown apart and eviscerated into dust, or thrown into the fire, or staked against the many bone spurs on the wall. It's a tableau, and as this is happening, and you're like, you're hit and brought on its arm. I guess what you run up with your jug and just Murder Town?
Yep.
Now you bring that jug down and cave in all of its skulls. The Colossus falls to its knees and stops moving and writhing. Yes, you you are on the ceiling, and then you are on the ground. All right. So I'll just... All right, listeners, we're going to take a brief segue away from the results of the fight to Beryl. There's 3 different ways to pronounce it. You got to help me out here.
It's Burrell.
Burrell.
I am helping you. I've said it every time. Don't make me fun for me.
I'm trying my hardest. You picked a name that has 3 different pronunciations.
No.
The Jam, the Vedic from DS9, the actual intended one. All right, so Nicole, or Beryl, you've been reduced to 0 wounds. You roll plus breath.
Okay, I think I have 0 for that, but let me double check. I think I might have 1.
You can also use power die.
You also take a -1 penalty to the roll. Oh no, wait, to the next one. So this one's just at 0.
Okay, so I don't have any breath, so just 2d6.
Yup.
And what about power die were we talking about here?
If you spend a power die, you roll 3d6 and pick the best.
And I'm assuming I have to do it before I roll?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to die. What happens if I fail this roll?
You don't die. There's like an entire other roll that could happen.
So is it worth it or not?
Oh, spend your power die. It's fine.
Alright, I got a 10.
Alright, hey, 10 plus. You heal 1 wound and recover.
Yay!
You're fine. Now, had you got 7 to 9, there's a list, and either I choose 1 or you choose 2 from it. And it's you take major damage and you're out of the fight for the rest of the fight, and all your rolls are broken until you rest. The other one is you lose a chunk of your body, such as a finger, tooth, or earlobe, or a limb, or your armor or weapon are just gone, or you get like a wicked scar. And if you miss that roll, you either choose to die right away or do a Defy Fate move. Defy Fate is a whole other roll.
Okay.
It's actually pretty hard to kill you guys.
So I'm at
1.
2 wounds right now, right? Because
1.
I healed 1.
Yeah. So you're at 1, because you're at 0 before. And 0 plus 1 is 1.
Okay.
Right.
The max wounds is 3.
Okay, you were at 0. And now you're at 1 because you gained 1 wound.
Yeah. Wounds is literally health, so you start at 3 and go down.
Okay.
I don't understand where the confusion's coming from.
I thought 3 was the max you could take before you died. I didn't realize it was HP where it goes down from there. I was thinking of the other way around.
Okay.
Where, like, you know, you get 1 wound, you get 2 wounds, you get 3 wounds,
No,
you're dead.
when you take harm or damage, it subtracts from your wounds.
Yeah, I was thinking way backwards. So
Oh, okay.
1, okay.
You're at 1 right now.
That's fine. It's hit points.
Okay. We then move to, like, you, through the haze of the fight and the ringing in your ear and the screaming and, like, the shredded spirits and tangled, unwoven, like a clothing being pulled at the thread, spools of gauze all around you. You get up, and there's Orchid, that jug in hand, having caved in just all of that Minotaurus's head. There's like black ichor and that kind of runny rainwater that permeates the city, just oozing out of the body of the specter.
Yeah, Orchid grabs it by the back of its head and kind of breathes in its own last breath.
Jesus.
Before turning towards you, it's like, oh, you're up. I was worried.
Yeah.
You are well?
I'm not dead.
I am relieved.
So, now what?
Well, I believe we should brush off and perhaps retreat until we can interrogate the woman. I have to recoup my losses.
Yes, we should definitely figure out what is going on here. and not continue on right now. How do you get your HP back?
It happens over time.
Yeah, it's not even hard. I'm just going to pause. Okay, listeners, we're back, and we're just going to take a brief segue to talk about stamina. The thing I'm sure at least some of you who play Broken Worlds have been screaming until your lungs are hoarse with rage at us as we're going through the 2 fights we've done so far.
Right.
Blood pooling in the bottom of your lungs as a sort of self-inflicted whooping cough. Or what's the word? What's that famous thing that rich people got that they cough blood into a handkerchief?
Tuberculosis?
Yes. A self-inflicted tuberculosis. So, stamina is in the book. It's not hidden, and it's not really out of the way. It just doesn't have its own heading like a lot of other things does. It's kind of folded into healing in a few other areas, and it's mentioned a bunch to its event, to be fair to it. And every playbook tells you get 3 plus breath stamina. Stamina is basically health that regenerates really quickly. When you lose it, there's different effects in the game that play around with it. You can spend it first, and then after you spend your stamina, you have to spend from wounds. So characters do not have 3 wounds and are the squishiest things in the universe. Most characters have 3 to... What does Tex go up to max? 3?
I think so, plus 3.
So anywhere from 3 to 6 stamina, and then 3 wounds. So
plus 2, but yeah.
Plus 2, okay. So yeah.
That's starting anyways. I don't know if it can go up after.
Anywhere from 5 to 8 hit points plus armor.
Yeah.
So we didn't realize stamina existed. Hey, that's what happens when it's just your first time through. I'm sure there's other things we're missing.
So that was less of a brutal ending
Yeah,
than
I didn't.
originally was.
I didn't actually almost die. I only actually took 1 wound.
Yeah, you're fine. You have stamina, so you can just spend armor and 1 stamina, and not even any of your gang's hurt.
Hmm.
And Nicole, of course, didn't spend her power die for that. What's it called? That roll I made you make? Did I give it a name?
I don't think you told me what its name was.
Oh,
It wasn't a
Do
fight.
not
fate.
die.
shattered.
Shattered.
It's a shattered roll, which you didn't have to make.
So
you're
I get
fine.
my power die.
You do. Yeah, listeners. So, yeah, stamina is a thing. Keep an eye out for it. Again, it's not hidden. If you were diligent listeners, like I wasn't, and read the book from the top down recently before running, you will probably catch it. It's been a long time since I've read the book cover to cover, and it slipped completely out of my mind. Yeah, you get breath plus 3. So, breath is fairly important to being a fairly sturdy character.
Yes.
And what do they call them? Respites. I think they recover health fairly quickly. Yeah, that is that, listeners, and we'll just switch back to the fiction, with that not being as brutal as we first thought. And we're back. So yes, Burrell. It's hard, man. Burrell. And I even have a pronunciation key up. For me, Burrell is not nearly as interesting as we thought. Your dudes are totally not that messed up. They're faking it. But that thing is dead. And you drink its breath like the vampire of joy you are.
Fun at parties. Alright, in that case, I don't think we need to beat a retreat here, so...
No, you're fine. Everything's fine. Your guys' equipment and armor is banged up and stuff. The weapons they used to parry are, kind of splintered. They'll need some time to give some TLC to it.
Hmm.
But in the stark shadows and echoes of light that reverberate through this hall from fire essence just running rampant, you guys are just here. You can feel the air just peaked with geomantic kind of breath.
The truest sign of a man's.
Yeah. Spiritual energy has pooled here. A domain of breath and essence and spiritual energy has formed, and someone capped it with a sorcerer's tower.
Huh.
That's right.
So yeah, let's go talk to the Neoma. I guess I knew it was a Neoma and you didn't.
I'm afraid not.
That was out of character, that
Oh.
part. But it's like, yeah, it's like, I was like, yeah, like, why do you just keep calling it the woman? It's like, it's demon, it's a Neoma. It's like, oh yeah, I knew that. You didn't know that.
Strange purple woman.
But
Yes, we'll go approach her.
Okay. All right. So, the demon is resting up against a wall. It looks like it was much more injured than you were in its fight with the war specter. Yeah, its armor's still writhing, but it's kind of contracting and dilating with those teeth, like those little sticking out teeth and hooks, almost like breathing. That's going asymmetrically to the Neoma's breathing pattern. How worldly were either of you before coming here? Like, did you guys spend any time in the West at all?
West is Waterworld, yeah?
Yeah.
Probably not, because it has mostly water there. I was like a...
Scavenger Lands, the Threshold.
Yeah, it was probably more like that place. I was, dungeon delving? I don't know what that's called.
Adventure.
Archaeology, or whatever you want to call it. And also, like, spying and stuff.
In the realm, it's that period of time where you kind of take your leave or take your kind of world tour. It's considered adventuring by many.
Yeah, I did that, and also, you know, spying and stuff a bit, but I probably wouldn't have come to the West.
And my character was a prince from that Thousand Kingdoms area.
He was specifically from the opposite of the West.
All right. The Neoma has a slender look, a lot of angular kind of features, like kind of a subtle squared jaw, eye sockets that are more pronounced. Its limbs look like they're ropey and wiry, like there's sinew and muscle threading moving through them. Kind of almost like, not like a tree, but like a braided kind of ship rope cord, like under tension. And yeah, it carries itself with a, I don't want to say a warrior stance, but with a stance of someone who knows murder. Which, you having some sort of basic knowledge of demonology or Malthian nature, not what you'd expect from the super famous and super common demon courtesans of the Brass Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a six-fingered hand clutched around that orichalcum diglaive.
Can you move?
Covered in piercings and stuff. Black eyes. One of the eyes looks like it's been tattooed. Like someone put a tattoo needle right onto the eyeball. You, did a number on that thing.
It was simply no match for us. You seem to have done your own damage to it.
So it wasn't. Yeah, I held my own. Thank you. When it talks, its tongue has been, like, knife split into, like, 3 lashes. Which people do in real life.
Gross.
You eventually get independence of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the teeth have been filed in, not into fangs, but into, like, different alternating summits and slopes. So, like, one's going left, one's going right. Like, it's all very intricate. It almost looks like a stained glass window when it closes and opens its jaw.
So what are you doing here?
Tomb raiding.
That makes sense.
I didn't come alone. Came with a raiding party. Gestures to one of the low-hanging, swinging roof supports with a bunch of things crucified on it. Ghosts.
Then I suppose the spoils are mostly yours.
Such Generosity doesn't come free.
Answers would suffice for now.
I'm looking interested at this change of events. So we save his life, and you're like, oh yeah, and you get the treasure. It's like, where are you going with this?
I mean, we're on top of a manse. That's the real treasure here. The rest is kind of inconsequential-ish.
Alright. Spin me a tale, Exalt. Let's see what I can match. Let's see if I can match it with truth.
You seek someone who can path the underworld, take people where they need to go, ferry them about.
And why'd you come here?
The voices of the labyrinth speak to me.
Oh. The Maker. Oh, my.
And they appear to have led us to you.
Alright. Fair. I can meet that. My companion or pet or consort knows the way.
Did they survive the battle? Are they here?
Yeah, mostly. The Neoma kind of pulls off the lamellar armor, and the black kind of writhing teeth and nail suit kind of starts shifting around off of its body and kind of unravels, almost like pulling like cheese wax off of cheese, and just kind of starts pooling on the ground into this shape of what looks like a mix between a bloated and fat crow and a cat with too many legs and not enough wings.
Like it shouldn't exist.
What? Like a cat with too many legs and not enough wings.
Well, it's part crow.
Oh. That explains it, yes.
A blackbird.
Right,
Like the
prophecy,
haiku.
Prophecy. Right. I was like, what? Am I missing something?
It like crawls up the Neoma onto his arm. Like you got a feeling the way it's talking and the way it looks once it starts like removing armor and stuff and like holding itself and the way it refers to itself when it talks to the pet. It's clearly male.
Mm.
Anyway, it perches on the monster perches on the Neoma's arm. This is my companion, Crowswam. It's a paranel. It's the word your people give it.
What's that mean?
Living armor demon.
Oh, okay.
Again, super popular in the realm.
Okay.
There's like 4 demons that are popular in the realm. Blood Ape, Neoma, Paranel, Hopping Puppeteer, and number 5, Demon Bottle Bug.
What do those do?
They swim in your stomach like flesh is water and drink any poison that you drink.
Does that mean you can't get drunk?
Yeah, they're a nuisance. But they're a blessing, but also a curse.
Good for dealing with assassinations, I guess.
You just drink a bunch of poison.
Impress your friends.
Yeah.
Impress your friends. Kill your enemies in a drinking contest.
They're also vaguely surgeons too, like they'll do like stitch up work inside of you. They want to keep you alive. They're your friend.
Then this is able to navigate the underworld.
It makes a sound that's supposed to be a crow sound, but when it opens its beak, all you hear are like that weird shrill kitten noise cats make. Just kind of multiplied. Yeah, he knows the way.
There are people that we wish to vacate from the mountains. If you could lead them out, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, we found a secret path that he can fit through and open the gate to. It'll lead them to a different part of the underworld.
Guess we'd need to know where it was headed, though. Or if they could get to their place from there.
It leads to the great city, Stygia.
And from there, likely anywhere.
Yeah, lots of porters there. That's how I found my way here.
Excellent.
All right. Where do you stay?
I have a manor down in the city. You are welcome to rest there.
I'll go back to where I live and I'll touch in. keep in touch base.
Very well.
We'll figure it out from there then. But you don't have these people here with you now. It's not gestures to the swarm.
No, they are not welcome within the bounds of the city. For now.
Okay. Nua puts out his hand to shake because you're exalts.
Tap it, Burrell.
Absolute bastard.
Poison orchid.
Absolute bastard.
Yeah. When I shook his hand and said that, I think my character probably like paused for a second. Is like, is he calling me a bastard? And I was like, oh wait, no, that's his name apparently. Like, should I be offended? No, okay.
Plus, when I shake, it's basically my entire hand encompassing
yeah,
theirs.
it's real creepy. If you two are from the West, you would know that a lot of the tattoos Absolute Bastard has on him are Lyntha Reaver markings.
Oh, wow.
Which is extra weird for a dude.
There's so many things conflicting about Absolute Bastard. There's a lot of subversions going on here, it would seem. Anyway, he wraps the diclave in the wrapping cloth that's just kind of strewn around here. That looks like it's clearly made for it, and holsters it along his back. The Paranel reforms into armor. The Laminar goes back on, and Absolute Bastard leaves. Then stops. Then comes back in. Wait, I was here for things.
I thought he was gonna leave, and I was like, okay, cool. We didn't have to even give him any treasure that we find, I guess.
Specific things, or simply...
I'd actually already found it.
Really?
Yeah, he goes over and like pulls out a sort of wrapped cloth. It's a wrapped cloth bundle.
What's in there?
Oh, yeah. Bastard unwraps it, and kind of covered in silk and like rope is a fishing rod. It's made of reeds. It's bolstered with what looks like white jade, and the hook on the bottom is made of brass that moves and twitches. The line itself looks like it's cords of silk.
Interesting. What does it do other than apparently fish?
There's a fellow in the Quicklands that needs it, and they're willing to trade a high price for it.
Why do they need a fancy fishing rod so bad?
There's a fish in a pond on top of a mountain that you can only reach during the solstice. If you fish in it and catch it, you can pull up the soul of the mountain and gut it. And apparently it's a very appeasing meal. They say the cloud people will come down and entreat with you if you serve it up on solstice day. Some wayward people try to catch brides or husbands this way, entice them with their cooking skills.
Huh. Interesting.
Very specific.
It's a big world. In exchange, I get a certain calendar I need.
A calendar. You tell.
Tracks a certain series of dates recorded in the halls of the Heavenly City. Movements of a prey I've been hunting.
You sound like you have quite the journey ahead of you then.
I know some people. I can get it in and out of here fast and easy enough.
That sounds like such a annoying quest to have been given in the game. It's like, you have to get this thing to do this thing, and to get that thing, you have to get this thing to do this. It's like, oh my god.
It'll be worth it. The payoff will be great, and I have time.
Well, I think we hold no reason to deny you this whatsoever, so...
Unless it's someone I care about. Are they tepid?
No.
There we go then.
I'll chase him. I'll never stop. It's the ultimate prey. Round the threshold in the halls of heaven, round the dying pits of oblivion, till the last heart flame of Hasiah Ligeran's soul before I give him up.
Who is this lucky prey?
The sun.
Well, now you have my interest.
story for a different time. We'll talk later.
We will.
Let's just go kill the sun. What?
I see nothing wrong with this. Nothing could go wrong. I'm sure there's a Zenith out there who will gladly take his place.
Wow. Zeal. Or whatever it's called. The dawn breaks or whatever. There's a charm you can take to make yourself the sun if the sun dies. It's stupid.
He dies an unfortunate accident.
He dies in an unfortunately written cutscene. Absolute bastard departs with his prize.
Leaving the rest of this area for us to explore.
Yes, I think that bombastic fight and little interaction is good enough for the session.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, I'm going to give a brief pause. So, we have reached the end of the session. When we reach the end of the session, all players and GM discard their power break dice. You mark experience, and you can mark experience for last time too.
Okay.
And then we ask the following 3 questions as a group. Did we fail in some regard?
We let it get off that last hit. I don't know if that's a failure as much as just affected the combat system. Nobody really died.
That's a failure. Yeah, nothing bad really happened.
No, we just succeeded the whole way.
The whole session was basically a combat, so.
Yeah. It was like an action set piece.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did we expose ourselves to danger, cost, or retribution through our actions?
Most definitely.
Mark experience.
Okay.
And the last one.
Are we just entering for this session then?
Yeah, right now. And the last one. Did we progress our story in a meaningful way?
Most definitely.
Mark experience again. So that's 3. And 4 altogether from last time, which we just didn't do. It's not important.
So 4 experience in total. Cool.
Yep, and there's like a thing where you eventually will level. So we'll take a look at that. But I think that is the end of the session. You have found your guide through the lands of the dead. A living, symbiotic demon suit of armor attached to another demon who's a big weirdo.
Yes.
A crazy or Diaclave-wielding Lintha Reaver Neoma, who is hunting the most dangerous game. So, I think we'll wrap it there. I was Devin.
Nicole?
Kevin?
And this is sponsored by Nobody. Signing off.